Two things we need to be very clear in this debate. One, we are told that the glamorization of startup culture is actually a kind of fairy tale. But ladies and gentlemen, the fact is that we're still reading the fairy tale for the kids is actually there's a reason for that. Why? Because sometimes inspiration is very necessary for us to have more belief in our success, to have more belief in the goodness of society. And without this inspiration, everybody will give in. We're not going to encourage and have a stimuli for them to have a better future for themselves. Secondly, we need to understand the status quo, what is really happening nowadays. The startup culture, the startup companies are not for everyone. So not everybody will go get crazy, right? It's after reading some media on some successful people on startup because they have no resources for that. So only the stakeholders will be affected by this kind of media. One are the rich students, rich people, right, who have enough resources to invest on their own business. Or second, only the students or the individuals who can have the fund from the some foundation to invest on the business. Okay, so the thing is now. So for example, you have very great advertisement of contraceptive pills, right? But only women will get crazy to buy that. But only men, they know that this is not for me, right? So they won't go to buy contraceptive pills for the men, right? So the people didn't understand themselves, like what is the real place is in this grade. So the things that all the students will get dropped out of school, for example, mentioned by the government side, is actually not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Two things is this speech. First, why the beautiful portrait of the culture, of the startup culture is necessary for individuals and beneficial for them to become successful in the future. Secondly, what this positive portrait will benefit the economy and the society as well. Now, before that, some points in rebuttal. First, they talk about some alternative ways that the creativity and practical skills are already encouraged and portrayed by the media, right? But first, they haven't shown why this kind of thing is going to be affecting people, the students. Because actually, we cannot just give them the theories. We need to give them some evidence, the real examples, why creativity will work, why creativity and practical skill are that important for them to be successful. And with this kind of example from the startup culture, is to actually give them the belief that, okay, with this kind of creativity and practical skill, they can be successful. And the evidence is a thing that for them to encourage them to follow the career and to be successful and to learn more of the practical skills. Second, they talk about the failure. They talk about how media is lying to people. First, we only give you the real, some examples of successful people, right? So we don't make up the facts or something like that. We didn't tell you the whole truth, but it doesn't mean we're lying. Secondly, they didn't prove to us why we need to talk, why we need to build a filler. Filler only disincentivizes people from being insecure to follow the dreams or to be really practical on the career. And for us, we believe that if people can see this kind of the image that they have a chance to be successful, they can be more. So it's actually from other work is much better. And the thing is in debate, it should be about whether we should encourage the people, the potential people who have enough resources, abilities, and all the things they need to get out of the comfort zone to follow the career. And we believe that from outside the house, and especially from our government closing opposition, will be doing this much better than everybody else. Now let's move on to the summary. First, what is beautiful about the benefits for the individuals? Number one, running companies is themselves, their own companies. It's actually a way for them to learn the real experience. Why? Because they can learn from some experience, other experience, like the previous seniors who have already successful, right? Because they actually have a network for the startup culture, right? So secondly, when they join themselves in the market, they can understand the market much better than just sitting somewhere and reading the newspaper. So all the things, if you just do some action, they can learn the experience, right? But you just sit at home and hope someday you can be successful. That's not going to happen. Secondly, they talk about the failure, right? First, okay, if the people can fail, they can only have a chance to go back to the traditional path to work for some companies. So I don't think that is going to be a big problem for them, they could die if they just run some companies on themselves at the first, right? Secondly, they talk about okay, so sometimes we should just learn or experience from some traditional companies or traditional job. For example, you just join some big companies, and then you can like later when you have experience, they will be get a successful startup. But ladies and gentlemen, the experience you're learning from these big companies are actually not enough because it's not applicable and it's not the real thing you can learn from for your startup company, because you just do some calculation in the big companies. But in the startup company, you just need to stand on your feet and you need to do everything, a lot of things you need to do. And you cannot only learn this thing when you do it in the very young age, right? So, and thirdly, even if in the worst scenario case, they will fail at all, right? So still they have a big lesson for themselves, because sometimes what is right is not as important as what is wrong and what you should not do, right? With them to realize when they have to like learn this kind of experience, they will have more time, more chance for them to become successful in the like a next step in their chosen career. Secondly, let's talk about the rising of our startup culture. This kind of rising culture would like incentivize the students to actually have more desire to study like real knowledge and practical skills. So for example, when mentioned like from our previous speaker about the educational system will adapt to this kind of thing. We can have new courses at school, and moreover, like students can go more to the educational centers to learn practical skills instead of just staying at school and learning all the theories that actually they won't use later in the real market, right? And the last one, what is going to benefit the economy and our society as well? We are able to use that. They talk about the wasted money, right? But first, investing also means that spending money. So A, it's a people's choice to do with their own money. B, spend money even though the money is not for themselves, they can still support other fields. For example, the printing field, if you have it running out, you need to invest something, but you're not just throwing the money out the window. You're spending it, right? So it means that you still buy things and support other industry to develop. I don't think that there's like the waste for economy anything. Secondly, let's talk about the capital venture industry. So of course, you know that only 1 out of 10 projects will be successful. But actually, why this kind of industry still risky investing foundation still invest? Because only one, but they can like with the interest and like that they can like handle all the risks that get led by the other 9 projects. So we believe that all these things actually even if like 90%, we still have 10%, 2%, and we have Facebook and Google, something like that, is already enough for the economy to develop. Thank you for listening. To go.